Well, hello and happy spooky season, pals. Speaking of spooky season, we are recording a special Halloween episode and we can't wait to hear from you. It's your turn to share your ghost stories with us, and we'll share as many of them as we can in our episode coming out October 29th. You can either write it out in an email or you can record yourself telling the story and send the audio file to spookysisterhood@gmail.com. Deadline is Saturday, October 18th by midnight. Can't wait to hear what you have for us, and of course, keep it spooky, Sibs. Hello, paranormal pals, and welcome to the Secret Society of the Spooky Sisterhood podcast. My name is Melanie, and if you've stumbled into our headquarters here, our not-so-secret society is a community built through social media to connect like-minded paranormal enthusiasts, and our goal is to lift up those in this space, especially but not exclusively women, who traditionally haven't had that opportunity. Each week we'll be joined by a member of our sisterhood, a special guest, or both, and we'll discuss one of many fascinating topics in the paranormal world. So let's call this meeting to order. We do have a few bits of business this week. First, our Haunt Down to Halloween giveaway for 2025 is underway. We've got an amazing grand prize package this year. To get an entry, you need to follow us, follow all of our paranormal partners, and you need to tag a friend on the pinned Haunt Down to Halloween post on Instagram. There's also tons of ways to earn bonus entries, so be sure to check out our website for that. At the end of the episode, we'll also give you a little bit more information as well, so stay tuned. Second, as we mentioned before the episode started, we're looking for your spooky stories for our special Halloween episode, so please reach out to us at spookysisterhood@gmail.com to share those with us. And lastly, I know we've got a lot of business today. Lastly, our third annual Spooky Slumber Party is coming in October, so keep your eyes open for that. It's always been my favorite event of the year, and I honestly can't wait. But I know what you guys are all here for, and this week's guest is a paranormal investigator, a haunted travel blogger, the HGIC, which is head ghoul in charge, of the Haunted Mirror Selfie Club. She's been featured all over the place, and I think most of us know the online persona, the Ghoul Guide. So I'm so excited to welcome Courtney Eastman. Hi, Courtney.
Hi.
Did I get everything right? Did I miss anything?
No, I think you got it.
Awesome. So can you tell us a little bit about you and about where you grew up? I know you said you grew up in Buffalo, right? Born and raised?
My name is Courtney, though you may know me as the Ghoul Guide. I'm a haunted travel blogger, a paranormal investigator, and your new best ghoul friend, all from Buffalo, New York. I've been into the paranormal for pretty much all of my life. It's been this weird little constant theme that just keeps popping up. And all throughout high school, I really loved it. Once the paranormal shows came on, it was something that I really took to. I was that weird girl in elementary school that loved playing Bloody Mary and trying to dig out the Ouija boards at all the slumber parties.
Yes.
But it wasn't until 2020 when I had this nagging idea to put all of my loves together, because I was stuck in the house for COVID, and I was really just going out and exploring, places that were abandoned or cemeteries, just to kind of get out of the house and do something. So in October of 2020, I created the Ghoul Guide Instagram page that has turned into a blog of all of my adventures in paranormal investigating, just exploring out into the world of the unusual and strange. And the rest is just history now.
So what kind of sparked you to do the Ghoul Guide? How did that kind of come about for you?
So, like I said, it was this nagging idea that wouldn't go away. Growing up, I really loved journaling, and I really loved writing, And I really love like the ghost stories and the histories around Buffalo. I grew up knowing them. I grew up telling them to friends, and keeping the tradition alive of just having all of these legends passed down. So with the spark of it, it was kind of just like, you want to make friends who go out and do this. You want you want to share what you know about your hometown and about all the things that drew you into the paranormal. And I kind of just like wanted to see more of what was out there. So
Yeah.
I took a chance on myself, and I told myself, like, you have to post by October 1st or we weren't doing this. And then I made that first post, and it has been 5 years of, posting almost consistently, posting
Wow.
about ghost stories and about like, paranormal evidence that I've caught, collaborating with friends, and kind of just like going all over the place and seeing what is out there in the weird little world that we're in.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. So I'm curious, do you have like a running count of how many places that you've been, or like an estimate?
So I started like trying to like make pin locations on my Apple Maps to
Oh,
like help
nice.
me keep track, and just to like so I can just like see where I've been. But if I just say like locations and like cemeteries included, I'm probably at over 50 within the last 50
Wow.
years. I think it's like, I think I went to maybe like 7 or 10 different states too.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I'm really all over the place. I mainly go all throughout like the Great Lake region and like the Midwest. I've gone as far the south as Tennessee recently, as far
Mm.
west as California, and then as far east as like Massachusetts.
Oh my gosh. Do you like going back to places more than once, or do you like trying to like keep finding a new place so you can tick it off on the map?
So it's a mixture of both. I personally love going back to locations, especially investigating, because that way you can kind of like look back on your past experiences and see if like anything equals up, or if anything like happens more than once type of thing. It's
Yeah.
kind of, and it's also kind of just fun to like see the differences, like in the different seasons or like the different days you go. Like sometimes we go to places after certain events have taken place, so we want to see if like the energy has messed with that or something like that. But I really do love checking off like new spots. I have like a never ending notes app of just places that I need
Yeah.
to get to and places to cross off. I basically like live out of it, and then whenever I'm going out of town, I always try to find things along the route to, to stop by, or just like something that's like maybe 10 or 15 minutes out of the way that doesn't eat too much time up, depending on how much time I have. But yeah, that's kind of like how I get a lot of stuff done, is just like going through the route and seeing what's close by, or, just kind of being nosy in like newspapers.com and seeing like what's around there.
Ooh, newspapers.com. That's a great suggestion, actually. I was going to ask if you had any specific sites and stuff you liked. I used to use roadtrippers.com,
Oh yeah,
which,
that pops up every once in a while.
yeah, it's great because it lets you, and this is not sponsored by any means, but they like let you map out your route, and then you can
Mm-hmm.
put lots of different points along the way, and it shows you like roadside attractions and like weird things along the way, which is kind of fun. It is, I believe, a subscription. Like you do have to pay to use their service, I think, but it is a really cool site.
Yeah. So I use newspapers.com for a lot of like my research and like getting obits and stuff. I
Yeah,
use Atlas Obscura. I love that site dearly.
for sure.
It's like a fan based site where like people just like they submit their findings of like weird places they've been to, like landmarks, graves, anything that's like spooky and obscure is on there, and I found a lot of my locations through there. And then
Yeah.
there's also an app called Find a Grave. There's a website
Yeah.
too, but like you can find certain graves, you can find cemeteries. I usually go by cemeteries, and then they have like a section where it's like notable barrier burials, and like you can go through there and see who's buried and like for what in the grave, or in the cemetery, and then like if you say you found like a really cool grave you want to know more about, you can always type it in there and see if they have anything. But yeah, that's like one of
Awesome.
my favorite ones to use.
For sure. I've used that like once I'm at a cemetery to, check up on something that I've
Mm-hmm.
seen, but I have never thought about using that as a tool to like plan a trip. That's really smart.
Yeah.
So you were just talking about like the furthest south and west and east that you've been, and recently you got to go to the Winchester Mystery House. And I know you've posted the video and everything, but what can you tell us about this experience?
So the Winchester Mystery House was probably in my top 10 of places that I had to cross off. And I was very, very grateful to get the opportunity with my friends to go help them not only film a YouTube episode for their channel, but also put on events for a weekend. So we basically did like a free roam event there with the boys in Haunted Nights. We had about like 30 to 35 people for Saturday and Sunday, or for Friday and
Wow.
Saturday. And it was kind of just like a free roam event where you got to run around the mystery house and, ghost hunt. You could ghost hunt with us. You could ghost hunt with like the people that were there. You kind of had like access to like almost every room in the house that you could find. Some were roped off, but like for the most part, we were all just hanging out. Um, it was a very, very cool place. If you were ever in the area, I do suggest a tour. The staff is incredible. The house is gorgeous. There are ghosts lurking around. And while I don't think it might be Sarah, I think she could be there from time to time. I believe it's more of the workers that were there and the caretakers who like really poured their heart and soul into making that building what it is today. But yeah, like we had a lot of different spooky stuff happen. We did like a seance right at midnight where we were going to ring her bells, but we ended up just ringing like the dead bell 13 times right as we started for an Estes session, which is like a modern day version of it.
Yeah.
And things got weird. It sounded like we were kind of like eavesdropping on their seance that was happening, and like they could see us, and we're just kind of like, what the hell are you guys doing?
That's
Um,
wild.
yeah, it was weird when I took off the headphones and the guys was like telling me what was happening and like what lined up. I remember back to like some of the things that I heard come through, and I was like, okay, like that's definitely really weird. At one point they like pointed out about like my headphones and asked like why I had them on. They thought I was cold. Um,
Oh,
I'm
like
trying to think.
earmuffs.
Yeah, yeah. So they're like, I think it said like, oh, maybe she's cold, and the guys were like, oh, they're talking about the headphones, and I think they thought I was sleeping, or they
Oh,
asked if I was sleeping because I had a blindfold on, like which is like just like a sleep mask.
yeah.
So there's that. But
Wow.
yeah, it was definitely a really really cool experience.
How did you feel there? Like, did you feel any kind of like negative energy there, or was it like a pretty positive place?
Oh, it was definitely positive. Like it. I will say it is a little creepy walking around that house in the dark because you
Yeah.
honestly have no idea where you're going. Like at one point I got turned around in the kitchen and I had this like weird feeling, but mainly because I'm just like, where the hell do I go? Um,
Yeah.
and like the one passage I kept missing it. I probably walked past it like 4 times. Um, but like other than those like weird moments of like like kind of feeling like you're being watched, or like feeling like someone's like lurking around but like you can't see them, um everything was welcoming, everything was positive. We even got a few responses that you can see in the video that's in my link in bio, um that kind of said that they love people coming, hanging, and like touring the place and like seeing what they did.
Yeah.
They love when people were around because we filmed before the events, so we kind of were like giving them heads up, like, hey, we're gonna be bringing people here until like 2 in the morning for the next 2 nights. We want to make you guys prepared. And I believe it's in there where you can hear someone say like, yeah, we do like people coming in, and we do like
Yeah.
sharing the space with the living. So I thought it was fun.
That's super fun. And it, I think, speaks to kind of the space that it was, because I don't think that it was built in any kind of malicious way. Like, and the people who worked there put a lot of love and effort into building that house and making it beautiful, if not weird, but beautiful, you know?
Yeah.
So I think they must be really proud to share that with people.
Yeah, and I mean, we all know the tale. We all know that, you know, like they say that the house was built by spirits, and because Sarah Winchester was so private, and she really kind of kept to herself, her whole personality and the house was kind of like shrouded in mystery because of it. And
Yeah.
and like the stairs to nowhere and the doors to nowhere, they can all kind of be explained by the 1906 earthquake that happened, because when that happened, it was a very massive earthquake, and it kind of shook the seven-story bell tower down. It like pretty much like leveled the whole fourth floor. So, and it trapped her in her bedroom, which
Yeah.
was really cool because you can still see the front of the house today with all the damage from it. You can see the cracks in the wall. You can see the unfinished bits of it. You can
Wow.
even still see the crowbar notch in the door from when they had to like pry open the door to get her out of it.
Oh my
So
gosh.
after that, she kind of just like cut off her entire front half of the house and was just like, I'm gonna be done with it. And they didn't open it up until she unfortunately passed away. So a lot of the stuff that were like there for the spirits, or like the spirits, or like to confuse the spirits or anything like that, it can easily
Yeah.
be explained. But at the same point, it is very interesting because we don't know how true the story is when it comes to the legend. And
Yeah.
like it had to start somewhere. She was known for doing seances. It was the Victorian era after all. So
For
could it
sure.
be there? Sure. But
Or
I don't
part
know.
of it.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. I just think it's a very, very cool place. And whether you go for an investigation or you go for a tour or even just go to like check out the gift shop, it's so cool. The whole energy of the building is awesome. The grounds are awesome. And I couldn't recommend it anymore.
It is definitely on my bucket list as well. And I've thought about so many times. I thought it was way further south though, so I was like, oh, I'll just, put that in with the Whaley House and the Queen Mary and stuff. But it's up more close to San Francisco,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's about
Yeah.
I want to say it was like maybe 45 minutes from San Fran.
Oh, okay.
And then like add in traffic, so it was probably like an hour-ish. Um,
Yeah.
But it really wasn't that bad of a drive. It's not like LA traffic where I've heard
Yeah.
it's kind of like stop and go. This was kind of just like, oh, we'll drive 5 miles an hour until we get to where we need to be.
Yeah. Honestly, that was kind of my experience with LA traffic too, to be fair. It's not really stop and go, it's just crawl everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't
not
mind it because
fun.
I wasn't driving. Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
I was just in the back seat the entire trip, just living my best life. So I didn't mind it at all.
Honestly, that sounds kind of perfect, especially if you're someplace you haven't been before, because you can kind of just take it all in.
Honestly, I mean, at one point, like, I feel because I've been driving so much, like, it's just me and my little Malibu against the world. So like when I'm passenger princess, I don't know what to do with myself. Like in the back seat, I'm
Yeah.
just like, I guess I'll make a TikTok. Like I'll edit a few photos, but I'm just like, I don't know what to do with myself.
Right. Do I talk? It's like that part, was it Talladega
Yeah.
Nights, where he's like, I don't know what to do with my hands.
Exactly. I'm just like, I'm existing in the back seat. That's all I'm doing. Like I'm pretty sure
That's
like
so funny.
at like 2 a.m. I like fell asleep on like book bags back there and just called it a night while we were driving to Denny's for 3
Ugh.
a.m. pancakes or whatever we had.
Bless Denny's.
Oh my god. I'll
I
always go
haven't
to
been to a
Denny's.
Denny's in forever. Yeah, I would too, for sure. We have IHOP here and Waffle House, thank goodness.
See, we don't have that here. The only place I know that where Waffle House is in like Ohio. But we did go in Indiana. It was
Oh.
right over the bridge from Louisville. So
Gotcha.
I wouldn't recommend it. We just ended up there.
Waffle House is one of those places that you really only go if you have had a lot to drink.
Yeah, I mean, I remember sitting in the back seat once again and being like, they were driving around trying to find something to eat. We couldn't find anything, and we were kind of on a time crunch. And I'm just like, well, there's Waffle House. Like, it's right there. We can just kind of go. And I didn't expect them to, like, actually, like, take me up on it. Because, once again, they were just driving around. No one was making a decision. And then we ended up going. And we're like, oh, yeah, there's cars in the parking lot. And then we walked inside and realized that the cars in the parking lot were all the workers.
Yeah.
And we were the only ones there.
I mean, I will say I don't hate Waffle House. Their hash browns are so good, but I probably would not pick it over some other places unless it was like a hurricane or I had been drinking. But I don't really drink anymore, so that doesn't count.
Same.
So let me shift gears for just a second and ask you, kind of speaking about not really knowing the backstory of the Winchester house and all that, because we don't really know all the details and stuff. Are there any other haunted places that you think maybe are a little misunderstood?
I feel like there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
I feel like this, yeah, I've never been to it, but I feel like the Sally house is misunderstood. I don't think there's a demon kid there named Sally running amok.
Yeah.
If anything, it's probably like an egregore that we created over the years with all the stories and like everyone going there, just going like, who's Sally? Like, we want to talk to Sally. And just trying to figure out that mess. But also like along the lines with, some of like the forgotten history, I want to say some of the asylums are really like misunderstood. Yeah, a lot of horrible things have happened there, and there's a lot of history that we don't know about. I don't know what other states do. I know that New York State kind of really loves to cover up their records and, you know, kind of just like push things away. So when it comes to like asylums like Letchworth Village or, you know, even like Penhurst in Pennsylvania, I feel like a lot of those locations are kind of misunderstood. And, you know, there are some people that get it. There are some people that will go in there and, you know, like want to say there's some demonic presence because of everything bad that was happening. And I'm sure there's like some negativity to it. But, you know, like a lot of the things that you can capture, like a shadow crawling on the ground or, you know, someone growling in a recorder. That could just be someone who doesn't know how to speak. And, you know, the shadow on the ground could be someone who just doesn't know how to walk and all they know how to do is crawl. It's one of those things where you kind of like have to take like this different perspective on. And I feel like I've talked about this in other podcasts and stuff before, where I work in a special needs school, and, you know, I've been there for probably about like 10 years now, and having that perspective on the world, not only in, you know, just like our real life, I think that also helps in the paranormal world as well. Not only just for these locations, but like for also all the other ones as well, because you kind of have that different mindset where it's like, okay, maybe not everything's a demon like everyone on YouTube or, you know, like all the rage baiters say it is. Like, maybe it's just someone who just doesn't know how to talk, and or, you know, maybe it's just someone who is like really going through it or like really went through it in their life because of an illness or something like that. And, you know, it's still continuing because of all that residual energy. So I don't know. I think like those little places.
Yeah. And like maybe it's just somebody who's tired of being screamed at when people come in the door and they want to throw things at you or shove you. Because I would too if people kept coming into my house and started screaming at me.
Right. I know. It sounds so silly to say, but I really try to put myself in the shoes of a ghost. It's basically just empathy. Like, what if I was a ghost haunting the location and I had all these random weirdos coming in asking me like the same questions left and right? Like, how would I take this? Like, would I take, like, don't get me wrong, there are times where we stir up energy and like, but you have to kind of like read the area and like know where you are before you start doing any of it. Like, at Waverly, the one time we ended up playing like an Easter egg hunt. And, like part of me was like, maybe that's a little too much of us just like running around creating havoc. Trying to stir up energy because we had 3 days planned there. So we're like, let's just do an Easter egg hunt, see what we can get out of it. But then, like, if I was a ghost and it was around Easter, I would also kind of want to see, people having fun because I'm sure they had Easter egg hunts there too. So, like, it's kind of
Right.
just like one of those things where you have to, like, just be a little more empathetic and kind of just, remove your own perspective out of it and try to think outside of the box, if that makes sense.
Oh, it 100% makes sense. And I think you're definitely onto something. I feel like from most people I know who have experience investigating, they do have more interaction and things happen when they're trying to do things to actually connect with the spirits instead of just yelling at them. If
Yeah.
they're playing music that they know that that spirit would have liked, or if they're reading a passage from a book, or like you said, if they're playing a game or something. Like the one time, it was the first time, honestly, that I had any kind of a paranormal experience that I really could not explain. You know what? Let me take that back. You maybe could explain, but we'll pretend for now. But it
No
was
one has
at
to know.
right. It was at an abandoned tuberculosis hospital, and they had a children's ward. And of course, there was a ball on the floor there. And I went during the daytime with my boyfriend at the time, and we rolled the ball down the hall. And it was a long, long, dark hallway. And you could hear the ball kind of like bouncing, rolling, whatever. And then you could hear it kind of slow down and then stop. And we stood there for a second, just kind of like, what if the ball rolled back? Ha ha. And it did, but like without making a sound, like not a peep, nothing. And it was super creepy. And I was very much done at that moment. And I guess, it could have been a squatter or somebody in the building. Let's be honest. It could have been somebody like fooling around with us. But it was super weird, and especially because we didn't hear it, because you could hear it go all the way down the hall. So for it to come back to us and us not hear anything, it was very weird. I digress. My whole point of saying that was, I think that when you do stuff like that, that the spirits would enjoy or be interested in some kind of way, like you're going to have a better experience than just coming in and being disrespectful, or at least that's my opinion.
100%. No, I totally get it. Like, that's what I tell everyone. Like, ghost hunting, there's no shame in having fun. Like, I know that there's a bunch of people in this field that take this very, very seriously.
Sure.
I get it. You're talking to, like, you want to prove that ghosts are real. I get it. But, like, loosen up a little bit. I hate to say it, but, like, sometimes some of the things happen, like, some of the craziest things happen when we're just hanging out and not even ghost hunting. Or we're
Yeah.
doing the silliest thing. Like, at the Hinsdale house, probably about, like, 3-4 years ago now, we got done with a history tour and we started ranting about the history because the Hinsdale history is very, very murky. And, it's just one of those things where it's like kind of been passed down, they're just legends. And then you do have the
Right.
story about the exorcism and stuff. But they always try to tie in Native American burial grounds and like there was like a war or something like that. I never really bought into it. That whole
Yeah.
area down there is definitely native, don't get me wrong. But we were ranting and like we were just ranting about the history, and my one friend Amy was kind of just going off because she's a huge history person, and right as she said something, a whole photo fell off the wall. Like in the bathroom, none of us were like even paying attention to the bathroom, and it just came off the wall and fell into the sink, and we all kind of looked at each other. We're like, "What the hell was that?" We ran into the bathroom. I thought like a light fell from from off the wall, and it was
Yeah.
one of those picture frames where it was like jagged. The back of it was jagged, and like you had to like
Yeah.
lift it off the wall to even get it. Like we put it back on the wall. I was jumping up and down. I was slamming the wall trying to see if it would move, and like nothing worked. So like,
Wow.
how do you explain that one? And, like, would that have happened if we weren't ranting about, like, the history that we just had, or, you know, like, sharing our thoughts about it? Like, maybe we did touch on something where there's, like, hi,
Yeah.
maybe you got that right. So, like, they
Yeah.
did that. So, like, I don't know, but, like, it's just one of those things where the sillier you are, the better. Within reason, I should
Yeah.
say.
For sure. I mean, you still want to be respectful, I think, no matter where you are. So you don't want to be like so crazy and wild that you're being disrespectful, but there's a difference. And I think you're exactly right. Like there's a point where you're being so uptight that you're probably not really connecting with anybody.
Right? And, like, don't get me wrong. I want to prove that ghosts are real because I have so many people in my comments going like, "Oh, you're so dumb. Ghosts aren't real." But like, like I would love to prove them wrong, but at the same time, I don't
Yeah.
think we're really ever gonna prove it. And I think that's the beauty of the paranormal because you never know what you're gonna get. Um, but like, it doesn't hurt to have fun because, like I say to like a whole bunch of people, we are literally sitting in the dark talking to Aaron, just kind of hoping that it talks back. So if you're just like kind of sitting there being serious the entire night, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Just what are we doing?
100%. 100%. So kind of a little bit of a detour here, but what do you do and how do you balance trying to document things with just kind of like you said, sitting around and being present and hanging out with people? How do you try to juggle that? I feel like that would be hard.
So it definitely is hard. I don't ever think I will find the balance, and it's kind of okay with me because I I never really wanted to be a content creator. It just happened. I like I said before, I sought out to kind of just find other people that wanted to do this stuff and wanted to go to these places. And I'm a ghost hunter first, a content creator second. So like there are moments where I forget to do anything. Like I'm just hanging out and then I'm just like, "Oh, the REM pod's going off. I feel like I should film it." But then like I feel like when I film things, I take myself out of being present because I'm so caught up with like, "Oh, I got to make sure my audience sees this and I got to make sure my audience sees that." So like some of the times I just like snap photos and like grab the videos, and I rather just experience it and then tell you guys about it later. It's just one. It's I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever find the balance. It's definitely something that I need to work on sometimes because like I'll come back from a trip, like Tennessee. I went all the way down to Tennessee, and I had a huge notes app of like things to get and like stories to do, and I have to get like just nothing but reminders. And when I came back, I was trying to put a reel together, and I was like, cool. I have 4 videos from that one location. 1,000 miles away. I have 4 videos. That's fun.
That's it.
So, like, that's also why I think it pays to, like, go back to locations, because not only that, but you can also get more B-roll or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just weird. It's this weird balance that I don't think my ADHD brain can, like, really comprehend. So, it's kind of just, like, a give and take, and just trying to make something out of what you have.
Which is just good advice for life in general, really, isn't it?
I guess so. I mean, if you ever like really notice, sometimes when I make my videos, I will like loop them backwards. So like I'll take the same clip and I'll just reverse it for an extra video.
I sincerely did not notice that.
I'm giving secrets away. But
Let
yeah,
me take
like
notes here.
it's just it's hard to be a paranormal investigator and a content creator because like I see it on like my other friends too, especially like, with some of the guys, like they're so focused on making sure that they get this and this for their YouTube video, or like someone has to like go to this place and this place and this place for their TikTok content, and it's just like I'm just over here like, yeah, if we get to it, we get to it. Like, if not,
Right.
I guess we'll hit it up on the next time around. But yeah, I don't know.
You know, I feel like that's so true too, though, about like paranormal TV. And I think a lot of times we forget that when we're watching it. We're like, oh my
Yeah.
God, that's amazing. They got that. But like, also, they were probably there for a week. It wasn't just one night. Like, they really were
Mm-hmm.
trying to get stuff to happen. And I'm not saying that they fake things. I don't know for sure. I'm not there. I can't prove that. But
Yeah.
I do know that you're not going to have a successful TV show if you never get any evidence. So you've got to have something to show for it. And
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of things you can do with, like you said, with B-roll and things, taking content in different ways, editing it different ways to make it look interesting. But I feel for those people like you're talking about that they go to these places and they're like, I have to get this, this, and this because
Mm-hmm.
otherwise, why are people going to keep watching? You know, it's
Yeah,
hard.
it's like yeah, it's like this weird struggle. And over the last couple of years, I have had a handful of people going like, when are you going on YouTube? Like, why don't you ever do like longer form content and all this stuff? It's like, I don't know if I really could. Like, I'm sure I could with all of, like the stuff I have now, like 5 years later, and like it's
Yeah.
really cool. But like, I don't know if I ever. My problem is that if it stops being fun, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And with content creation and like with anything in general, like you were going through like lulls and highs, and
Yeah.
and then like you have like all this, and like you have your real life that trickles in. You have, like you're trying to like make something out of yourself in this weird niche little field that is surrounded by drama and
Yeah.
surrounded by like these just dark history in general, and like it does take a toll on everyone. But
Yeah.
like you said, a lot of people don't understand what it takes to really go into some of this stuff. Like when you see an episode on Travel Channel or, like anyone's YouTube episode, you don't see the hours of
Yeah.
footage of just us just sitting in a room just hoping that something goes off. Or, like
Right.
hoping we catch like a clear EVP. Because we can catch EVPs all day long, but like some of it's gurgled, some of it you can't make out. So like you're just like, I don't know, you guys tell me, like what do you hear? And like
Right.
you kind of, I don't know, it's just like this weird give and take that like you just kind of hope pays off. And then a lot of the public who consumes your content really doesn't understand like the hard work and the mental load that goes into it. So it is like this
Big
weird
time.
balance that like I don't think anyone can really get a hold of. And if they do, I mean, please let me know your secrets.
Seriously. Because it's a lot. I mean, balancing anything in life is hard, but like you said, there's a lot to this that goes just beyond scheduling and using a notes
Mhm.
app and things like that. It's emotionally really draining and it's physically really draining a lot of times. And let's be honest, it drains your wallet. Like,
Oh
it's a
yeah.
lot.
It does. I mean, the the amount I have spent on gas alone within the last like 5 years is ridiculous. And like as much as like you want to say that I'm complaining about it, I'm really not, because like this is me having fun. Like
Yeah.
yeah, like content is cool and like sometimes you can get paid off of it, but like this is like a hobby for me that
Yeah.
I kind of just choose to share with the world, and like if it takes off, it takes off. If not, okay, that's cool. On to the next story to tell you guys about. Um but yeah, like as weird of a balance as it is, I wouldn't trade the last 5 years for anything in the world. Um, it has been a weird schedule of going to work Monday through Friday, sometimes Thursday, and then traveling all hours of the night, to go to places,
Yeah.
and then just to come home on Sunday night to get ready for work on Monday in the morning. It's it's like this weird work life balance that it sucks to try to deal with sometimes, and I'm exhausted, but I really want to trade it for the world.
Hi, pals. The code word for this episode is phantom. Well, that just made my heart happy. Well, speaking of draining our wallets, What kind of gear is in the essential ghoul gear bag?
Oh, whew. There's a few things in there. So I have a book bag that I carry around that I kind of like forget to take things out of half the time. But in my trusty little bag, I have an SB7 and headphones. They're construction grade like 3M headphones. They're noise canceling, perfect for Estes
Nice.
sessions, and they're pretty cheap. I got them on Amazon, so if you're ever looking for them, there you go. So I have
peasy.
those, and I have blindfolds, all for the Estes method. I really, really love it. I also have a deco pod, which is a fun, like, REM pod, but it's 3D printed, and someone actually in Buffalo made it for me. It's modeled after the lights in the Buffalo Central Terminal, which is the
Oh,
first place that I had my like big ghost hunt at. So that one's a very special piece for me. It works just
yeah.
like a REM pod, but you could have the sound on and off of it, so it's really cool. I have a para-lantern, which is just like an EMF lantern that you can like see around 360, so like no matter where it is, you can see it. I really love
So
that.
cool.
Um, I also have another pair of headphones called Lucid headphones. It's basically just like a parabolic dish in headphones, so it
Oh,
just
wow.
amplifies the sounds around you, and it's freaky.
Yeah.
So like we'll put them on. My friend Josie really really loves them, and we will walk up and down hallways with them. We will go, like we'll sit in rooms and just sit and listen. I'm a huge fan of like old school ghost hunting where I just sit in a room and just let it come alive around me.
Yeah.
Sometimes like that's some of the best evidence we've had. But the Lucids are really cool. I don't know where exactly you can find them. Last I heard, they
Okay.
were being liquidated from Menards, which is kind of like a Lowe's of the Midwest. But you can probably check on eBay for that. And
Okay.
then there's just like a bunch of portable chargers. There's dowsing rods. I have a laser grid that I hardly ever use. That's in there just in case. What else? Cat balls. Cat balls definitely.
Yeah.
And do not. I will say this: there is a company out there. I am not going to name names, but there is a company out there selling one cat ball for $15. Do not buy it.
Most
I
regular
will
cat
beat your
balls will
butt.
do.
Do not buy it. I don't care what they say to. They tried saying something about battery. Do not buy it. Go and buy yourself like a 4 or like 11 pack of cat balls for like $20. It's perfect. I love them. They're so easy, and like yes, they're breakable and cheap. I get it, but they actually are cool when they go off because we can have them
Yeah.
just sitting down on the floor for hours on end, and then all of a sudden they just randomly start going off. Sometimes they look like they're moving, so you kind of have to like watch out for the lights on that. But cat balls, cheap cat balls are your friends. And then I don't know, maybe, or if you ever find one where I am, because sometimes I have a habit of donating my cat balls to the ghosts up there. So if you ever see like a random cat ball, it might be mine. Take it. Take it. Take it.
I love that. I bet they're so happy you're like leaving toys with them to play with.
Like the one I found, so I found one at the homestead probably about like maybe 2 years ago at this point, and we were investigating there later in the night, and I was like, oh my god, I wonder if this is mine. So I put it in my pocket, and I brought it out later that night, and I said something along the lines of like, oh, do you want us to leave it here? Like, I'm sorry I took it earlier, but do you want us to leave it here for you? And it just kept going crazy. I was like, all right, it's yours. Say less. Like, it's literally yours. I'm like, I'll go hide it
I
somewhere. I'll
love
go roll it
that.
down the children's wing. It's yours. I'm
Right.
not taking it home. And then, like, I know
Aw.
I donated one at the chapel in West Penn, mainly because I had no idea where it went. We just put it on the floor, and I just, I just lost it.
And then it was gone.
Yeah, gone. I was like, all right, it's for the ghouls. There you go. Have fun.
This one's for the ghouls.
Yep.
Amazing. Do you have like a favorite? I know you said you love the cat balls, obviously, and the Deco Pod has a special place in your heart, but do you have like a favorite piece of equipment?
I honestly it would probably be my SB7. And it's not the one with the temperature gauge. It's my very first spirit box, just the plain one with the blue light in the back. No temperature gauge, just a radio that goes back and forth. Yeah, those are out, like, I think they're discontinued, which is heartbreaking. So, like, I'm scouring eBay to try to find a new one. Because the one coil, like, corroded, and I think someone said that they could fix it for me, but I just keep forgetting to, like, bring it to them. But that really is one of my favorites. I think they're really cool. And then, besides that, I really love the digital recorder. I have, like, an old Sony one. I also have my phone, which is also great, so you don't have to spend money on all the stuff. Your phone can pick up a whole bunch of stuff. It has a voice recorder in it, and you can use your just your video camera. When I was at Old Hospital on College Hill in West Virginia, I did B-roll, and I locked myself inside of the hospital because my friends were sleeping, and I knew if they knew that I was gone, they would come inside trying to find me. So I took the keys and I locked myself in.
Oh no.
And there was this clip that I got. I pretty much, like, walked through the entire hospital by myself, but then I was very hesitant to go down in the basement because I hate the basements as it is. But this basement kind of freaks me out. So I was standing at, like, the top landing, and I did a video of me, like, panning down to the stairs and then up to, like, the second flight of stairs. And I used this clip all the time. Probably used it 3 times before I even noticed it. And the one day I was just sitting in my room batching a bunch of content, and I had that video up, and I went to go throw my phone on my bed because I was getting ready to move over there, and somehow the volume came on, because I always work with no volume.
Yeah.
Because I put sound over it anyway, so I don't need to hear it. The volume came on, and all you could hear were, like, probably 5 to 6 high heel steps behind me. I had no idea. In the moment, I was literally the only person there. I do not wear high heels. I had boots on that day, so they wouldn't even make that, like, clicking sound like, on the linoleum floor. So I remember hearing it. It was like 11 o'clock at night. I started panic texting everyone, going like, do you hear this too? Like, what the hell do you hear? And it went on for probably about a day. And I posted it online for everyone. And I was like, what do you hear? Like, I enhanced it. I'm like, I can physically, I can tell you that I physically was alone in this building. I had the keys on me. I do not wear high heels. I cannot walk in them. And then after I posted it, people were like, oh my God, I can hear the sounds. And then they started saying that it sounded like someone was telling me to get off my phone or to, like, move out of the way. And I was like, all right, I'll give them that, because I was literally standing at the top of the stairs, just in everyone's way. But yeah.
Everyone, as in the spirit.
Yeah.
Because there was nobody else in the building.
Yeah, I was standing in, like, literally everyone in the spirit world's way, just, like, trying to, like, go on with, like, their normal hospital day. And then here's some girl with bright orange hair, just like, yeah, let me just make videos. Like,
get out of my way, weirdo.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, your phone can catch a whole bunch of stuff. You just kind of, like, have to be okay with kind of being let down sometimes. Like, you're not going to catch everything. But the times you do, they'll take you by surprise.
That's kind of like how ghost hunting just goes, too. Yeah. Like, sometimes you're just going to sit on the floor and listen, and that's it. But, you know, you got to be okay with that.
That's the beauty of it. And, honestly, when those nights, I love having the quiet nights, especially in places that you frequent the most, because when you do have things that pop off, or you do have crazy nights, you can look back and go, why was it different?
Right.
Who was it? Like, what made this night so much different than this one? Like, and it could be anything. It could be an anniversary or something that you just don't know about. It could just be residual energy popping up for that day. Or you could just be asking the perfectly right questions, and things just kind of happen.
1,000%. And it's great to have that, evidence, really, that you have been there before, and it wasn't just the pipes, or it wasn't just this or that, because you've been there and it's been quiet. So this is something, whether it's an animal or, you know, something else happening maybe, but... And it helps, like you said, when you're going back to places, because you kind of know what you're looking for. Or not looking for, I guess.
Yeah.
Both.
You can kind of, like, get a baseline reading that night. And then just kind of, like, use it as your little constant in all your experiments.
So important. I'm a big fan of the scientific method.
Yeah. I mean, I hated science when I was, like, in school. I could never really grasp it. So, like, leave it to me to be involved in, like, a pseudoscience. I mean, like, yeah, there's, like, time slips and all this energy stuff. Like, I feel like sometimes I have no idea what I'm talking about.
I mean, I'm with you on that one. I'm not a big... I do believe in science. Let me be clear about that.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
I was not a great science student.
Mm-hmm. There's nothing about me that will ever be a scientist.
Yeah. My brother is, and kudos to him because I can't do it. I liked chemistry, and that was about it. And it was because there wasn't a lot of math. It was more just like, let me pour this into that and see what happens. And like, I don't know, it was kind of like I was doing magic and more magic than science.
Now I wish I would have taken chemistry, because I got out of it, we were like one of the last classes to do like a full year of forensic science, and they didn't like really have a lot to teach us, which is weird because forensic science is incredibly cool. Like you
right.
pull from so much. So like I feel like
Yeah.
half the year we just watched Forensic Files, and that was A-okay with me. Because now it's just a comfort show, and it's great.
I can't believe that was, like, the education, though. Like, here, let's watch forensic. It's like, I mean, even when well, I guess it was relevant to the class. Because I was like, at least when we watched videos in most of my classes, they were relevant. But I guess that was relevant.
Yeah. So, like, I remember watching that, and I remember them being like, all right, we're going to watch an autopsy now. I was like, cool, little do you know, I watched an alien one at, like, 7 years old on YouTube when I shouldn't have. So, I kind of know what to expect.
You were prepared. But
yeah,
then when it was a
so
person
prepared.
And not a gray, you were like, what the hell is this?
At least, like, it didn't freak me out. For some reason, like, I know that alien video is so fake. It has come out saying that it's fake, but there's a little piece of me just going, I think it's real. Like, that, like, first, like, that first initial shock I had when I watched that video at so young, I was just like, yeah, I don't know, it still freaks me out.
It's burned into your brain.
It really is.
Forever. I don't think I could do that one. I'm very squeamish, so I have not seen any kind of autopsy videos, thankfully. But I feel like that's one of those things that, especially once you find out that our government really does know that there's other life out there, like those little things from your past that you've seen or read or whatever start like coming back in there, and you're like, well, maybe that was a little bit real based on a true story, you know?
100%.
All right, I only have a couple more questions for you, I promise. But can you please tell us about the very exciting Haunted Mirror Selfie Club?
Of course. So, the Haunted Mirror Selfie Club was something that was kind of, like, created out of a joke. The very first post I remember was me standing in the Hinsdale house, and I don't remember when I posted it, but it was definitely within the first year, and it was something along the lines of, like, hi, my name is Courtney, I love taking mirror selfies in haunted locations, and I want to say my sister saw it. She joked about me making a coffee table book of just all my selfies from, like, all these haunted locations that I've been in. And, like, I will say that I was a MySpace kid growing up, so I grew up with all the mirror pics and all the angles. And going in haunted locations, especially for tours, like, when you can't, like, especially when they don't have a gift shop, and you can't, and, like, I'm not really going to steal things from locations. It's just a quick little souvenir to, like, kind of, like, remind yourself of it. So I thought it was fun, and it just kind of took on a life of its own. I don't know how the club actually, like, formed, like, with the hashtag or anything like that. But once the hashtag came out, everyone kind of just started using it. And I made these cute little stickers to kind of just, like, celebrate the club. And it just kind of, like, snowballed into this fun interactive thing, or like a community kind of just like us snapping pictures in haunted locations. The mirror doesn't have to be haunted, but
Yeah.
one of these days we're gonna catch a ghost, either taking a selfie with us, passing around in the background. I really think that's kind of like my goal with it, like low key. It's just I hope like one of these days a ghost just pops in randomly. Um, but yeah, we have like stickers. I have shirts for it. On my bonfire that a bunch of people like asked for. So I was like, yeah, sure.
So
Like I'll
cute.
make merch. And then every once in a while, like I'll lurk in the hashtag and I'll send people DMs going like, hey, you want to like I love the fact that you're a part of the club. Let's make it official. I made these cute little stickers that I actually have right here.
Yay.
Um,
They're so
they
cute.
have like little official members.
Love.
So, this one was actually created by my good friend Lauren, who is a tattoo artist, and she's been in the club for years. She really loved it, and I reached out to her and I was like, "Hey, I love that you're part of the club. Come, like, would you want to design something?" So she made that for us, and it's kind of just our little thing. But yeah, like I said, like I'll sneak into DMs and I'll welcome you officially into the club. I'll send out
Oh,
stickers.
yeah.
I love seeing everyone, take selfies. I love just seeing everyone kind of like make it their own in a sense. But yeah, it's just this little joke that kind of took on a life of its own.
And people get so excited. Like, I love that. I feel like every time I see somebody posting about their Haunted Mirror Selfie Club, like things that they get or like the actual pictures that they take, like whatever it is, everybody gets so excited about it. And I
Yeah.
love that. It's such a happy, positive, like, kind of like community building thing. It's very cool.
Yeah, it's just a silly little thing that I never really expected anyone to like jump on. But I really do. I love seeing everyone work together. I love seeing how creative everyone can get with it. I love seeing the locations you guys go to because trust me, I look at some of the locations you guys get to cross off for the bucket list or like yeah, for the Haunted Mirror bucket list or whatever.
Yeah.
And I get so jealous because I'm just like, "Oh, you went there?" I'm like, "Oh, that's so cool."
It's your turn next.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I took a whole bunch around the Winchester house. I seemed like in every single mirror I found, I was just like snapping away because half the time I forget about it.
Yeah.
I'm just in the moment where, and like I look back and I'm like, I don't have any mirror selfies from that place. That's weird. But yeah,
You just have to go back.
exactly. Just another excuse to go back. Don't tempt me with a great time.
Right. Especially with taking mirror selfies, like in haunted places. You can't ask for better than that.
Oh yeah, I will say Indiana State back in the day when we first went there in like the summer of 21, they had the perfect mirror. Unfortunately, over the years, the mirror has been broken. I don't know, like it looked like the bottom of it got chipped out.
Yeah.
It was literally because it used to be a nursing home, so it
Yeah.
was a TB hospital turned like psych nursing home in a sense, and it was right outside the activities room. So like when you're walking down a hallway to get to it, it is just a wall of mirrors, and we stopped there probably about like 5 times. I've probably stopped there throughout. Like anytime we walked by, I would take pictures. And like people in our group or like people from the ghost hunt were like, "Oh my god, let's take a mirror selfie." So it was like the perfect one to like get everyone in there. And then I want to say maybe like 2 years ago it got broken. So now we're down to just half a wall of mirrors, but I still think
Boo.
that's one of the best ones.
Okay, I'm putting that on my list. I know we talked before. I was planning on going to San Diego in November, and I was going to go to the Whaley House, and that was going to be my first haunted mirror selfie.
Yes.
But I'm no longer going.
Oh no.
It's okay. It's our trip just changed, so we're not going to San Diego anymore. We're just going only to Vegas. But I guarantee you, I can find a haunted mirror in Vegas.
I'm sure you can. There is I think it's Hotel Apache. That might be on like Fremont Street. That was
Okay.
a haunted hotel.
El Cortez also, because I'm planning to go to the
Yeah.
El Cortez that was one of the places I have on my list.
Love
it's a short
that.
trip, so I was like, listen, I got to do at least a couple spooky things, and that was one of them. And then, as no joke, as I'm going through this like list I found online of like spooky places, it's all like, you know, sad things that happen in the hotels or whatever. And then the last one is like Tupac was murdered in the street outside the Venetian, and I was like, I don't really feel like that makes it haunted. It's just sad.
Yeah. I think it's like by Flamingo, because my brother-in-law, when my sister used to live out there, my brother-in-law would take us on drive-by tours of the Strip, because like I never really cared for the Vegas Strip. Like, I knew it was always crowded, and like the first time I went out there, we did walk it, and we did do all like the touristy stuff down there.
Yeah.
But like, I kept going out there, and I was just like, I don't really want to like do a lot. So we ended up in the car, like we got in and out, and they had a minivan. So me and my sister would just hang out in the back seat, eating in and out, and he would just take us like to go look at the lights. And then the one time he was like, and if you look over here, this is where Tupac got shot. And I was just like, oh, okay, like, all right. Didn't expect that on the tour, but cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel personally, and this is again not to yuck anybody's yum, but I feel a little icky personally about like true crime tourism. I feel like that's something too, and this kind of leads to another question I have for you before we wrap up, actually, but there's such a weird ethical, like, kind of gray in this field. I mean, there just really is, and I don't think we'll ever get it exactly right. There's going to be times where we maybe do something that's kind of and then there's times that we maybe could have pushed the boundaries a little bit more too, but actually the question I have for you is, people who are interested in getting into paranormal investigation and haunted travel and stuff like that, I think it's kind of easy to bleed into that like dark tourism, which is fine. I'm not saying there's anything inherently wrong with it, but how do you recommend people kind of avoid getting into that ethical, yucky area?
I would just say do your research and kind of follow your own instincts on it. Once again, it's one of those things where like you have to kind of like lead into your empathy and kind of like put yourself out, like kind of like put yourself in their shoes. I mean, I'm kind of the same way. I'm not a big fan of true crime. I do listen to, like, I'll listen to like the documentaries when they come out. Like, I'll try to keep up on some stuff. But like with the Idaho 4 that happened, like as soon as that hit TikTok, I was out of it. Like it's like even still now, like after all these years and like hearing about it and kind of knowing that the case has some closure to it, it's just one of those things where I'm just like, why are we talking about it?
Yeah.
And I feel like you kind of like have to have like a decent threshold. I don't really like to talk anything recently. You know, like the mass shootings or anything like that. I don't ever really want to get into that. That is just something that I personally don't want to really talk about. And like if my family was a part of it, I wouldn't really want any true crime girlies out there or like any paranormal girlies out there to be like, hey, we're gonna go investigate this bar, or like we're gonna go investigate this school. Like it's a little gross. And like looking back, like what am I trying to say? Looking back on some of the cases that, you know, like we've covered, I try really not to like cover a lot of like crime stories. And it's like you said, it's one of those things where there's a huge gray like bleh area of how everything just kind of like bleeds into it, and you kind of just have to follow your gut. Is it something you're gonna be proud of, you know, like sharing? Is it something that like can help with you sharing it, or are you just kind of like feeding into the never-ending echo chamber of, you know, just bringing up someone's gruesome crime, like the Lizzie Borden case, or the Villisca X murder house. That is something that is very involved in the paranormal field, and especially Villisca. That is a location that has seen a lot of trauma, has dealt with a very like some very heavy tones to it.
Yes.
And I even tell myself that, like, if I were to go, I I don't even know if I would investigate. Like, as much as I would love
Mm.
to, it would kind of be like one of those things where it's like you just kind of sit and wait. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna try to like reach out to like the children's spirit, or it's just one of those places where it's like something awful happened here. I think we
Right.
should acknowledge it, but like you need to acknowledge it in a way that doesn't come off as gross or like exploitative. Like,
Yeah.
and unfortunately now it has happened because of the people who own the building, and just some of the YouTubers out there who just want clicks and know that that's like a house that will get people to watch their stuff. It's
Uh-huh.
it's a story that's captivated everyone, but yeah, I don't know. I think it's just something you kind of have to like wrestle with yourself. I mean, there are stories that I want to share, like with one with Green County. I would love to tell the tale of
Mm-hmm.
Sarah and, how hard her life was, but the one thing she's known for is sadly putting her child in the oven because he was cold and she thought it was a warm spot. Like,
Oh
it,
no.
yeah, and then unfortunately, like, the baby was cooked. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, out as a spooky girl, like, that's a good ghost story. Like, that is a good haunting
Sure.
story, sure. But like, I've known about this story for years now, and I'm just like, I just want to tell it in passing. Like, I don't think I would
Right.
really. Maybe I've posted about it once or twice, but like, it's nothing that like I've done like a whole series on. Like, this is the oven where it's happened. Like, it's one of those things where
Yeah.
it's like, oh, like, she was in a very, very rough mental spot. Like, she thought she had a warm spot for her child. Like, she didn't know
Right.
that he passed already, or, what have you. And just something
Mm.
awful happened. And I just don't think, like, personally, I would really want to share that on any of my stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. For sure. I think it's exactly like you said, you want to lead with empathy and you want to lead with respect. Um if
Yeah, I.
if you're in a place like that, especially like Velisca, they if spirits are genuinely what we think they are and they're people who have passed and they went through such a horrible traumatic thing, honestly, like they may just want to be at peace. They may just want to be
Right?
left alone. They may just want somebody kind to come by and say, "We haven't forgotten you and we're trying to tell your story and be respectful and not just come in accusing it of being demonic."
Yeah. Yeah, it's just one of those things that you kind of just have to gauge with, and
Yeah.
you kind of have to know yourself. I'm a very empathetic person. I try to be very respectful every chance that I get, especially in this world that we're in. Like, you don't know who exactly you're talking to, so why not try to go in with an open heart and a kind heart, and just kind of show respect any way you can. Um, I'm not saying that, like, there can't be any negative energy there, because I'm sure there is. It's
Sure.
been imprinted, but it's just something that you kind of just have to feel out. And
Yeah.
not every story is meant to really go viral, and not every story is meant for content. Some things
Yep.
just happen. And, some things you just learn that you kind of keep to yourself, or like
Yeah.
share face to face, or with friends, and maybe that story can reach someone else and they can find the best way to like share it and help get it out there. So
Yeah.
I don't know, it's just something you kind of have to like feel the vibe for, and also just like do your research. Just
Yes.
do your research on it. There are a lot of stories that are just stories. There are a lot of legends that are just legends and that have been, like made up somewhere down the line. And you kind of have to like trace that back. There are some like Emily's Bridge, like that whole legend's made up, but like it's also a legend that like everyone's kind of known. And
Yeah.
I feel like it's one of those stories that like even though it's kind of made up and like people know that it's made up, it could be real. It could have some truth to it. But I don't know.
Yeah. I think this is such a great topic, honestly, to have a whole conversation about the ethics of it all, and about how do we behave when we go into a paranormal space, and how do we behave before we go into the paranormal space, and things like that, because there's a lot of gray, and I think we're all a little bit guilty, especially these days, of forgetting that intent actually really does matter.
Yeah.
And it's okay to go into something with a good intent and kind of fumble it and not do a great job of showing that respect. And it's okay to say I made a mistake and that wasn't my intent, and here's what I can do to make it better.
Mm-hmm.
But
like, we're not always going to get it right. Yeah. We're not always going to get it right. But, I mean, if you're, like, open and willing to learn and willing to know that, or willing to accept that, like, you don't know everything about this field. No one will.
Nobody
does. No one.
Yeah.
That, like, that, and, like, that's what kills me with some people. It's like, they have proof. They have full-on proof that, like, ghosts are real. And, like, they were talking to this person and this person. It's like, you don't know that. You could just be talking to someone claiming to be that. Like,
yeah.
And it kind of just, like, goes back to the whole thing where it's like, you can't take yourself so seriously in this field, but, like, you can also take what you're doing seriously. Like, don't take yourself seriously where, you think you're better than everyone else, and, like, you're the only one that can communicate with them and all this other nonsense. But, like, I don't know. It's just one of those things where it's kind of just, it's really up to the person. I know that I'm going to go in there with an open heart. There are some spirits that I punk off. I will fully admit that, especially the doctor at Madison, because I know he was an asshole. And he called me a sellout, so now we have this whole feud going on. Yeah. All
right.
Yeah.
That one's acceptable.
Yeah. So, like, he was a very shitty person. This has been happening ever since, like, I first went to Madison, and then I just feel like it's kind of grown because I'm just gonna punk him off. You were doing some very awful things. So, you didn't show anyone respect in life, so I'm gonna just call you what did we call? Oh, we kept calling him a nurse instead of a doctor.
I bet that hurt his feelings a little bit.
Yeah, so, like, you just, like, edge it, and it is what it is. Whatever happens to me there. But, like, it's just one of those things where it's, like, you kind of have to know who you're around, what you're doing. Yeah, I don't know.
I think that was a great answer, honestly. We are definitely coming up on time, so I do want to thank you so much for chatting with us today. Obviously, I knew we were going to be besties because it is guaranteed on your website. But now it's just confirmed.
It's totally confirmed.
So on that note, one more thing before you go. Would you like to become a member of the secret society of the Spooky Sisterhood?
I would be so honored.
All right, friend. Repeat after me. I, Courtney, promise to show compassion to the spirits, my community, and myself. Remain open-minded and non-judgmental. Use critical thinking. Treat people, places, and things with respect. And above all, keep it spooky. Welcome to the siblinghood. We're so happy to have you.
Oh, I'm so excited.
So before we sign off, can you tell everybody what you've got coming up, where they can find you?
So, at the end of August, you can find me at the Indiana State Paracon. It's at Billy Creek Village in Rockville, Indiana. But there's also, like, a big ghost hunt event the same weekend at Indiana State, which is just a mile down the road, I should say. Two very cool places. come hang out with us. We'll be vending all day. I'll have merch on me. I'll be hanging out under the merch table, or under the merch tent. Maybe under the table, who knows?
I hope it doesn't go like that.
But like I'll have Polaroids, I'll have shirts, I have prints and all that fun stuff. And then if you missed that one, September 20th, I will be at MadCon, which is at the Madison Seminary in Madison, Ohio. Same thing, there's going to be a bunch of different people. I know Lauren is probably going to be there, Lauren Helkinson. Kalani's going to be there. We're basically kind of raising money for cystic fibrosis. So all the money that we raise with the raffles and all that fun stuff goes to that foundation. These 2 events are super, super fun because there's raffles. You can even get on or get in them online and try to get like free paranormal investigations and like privates. Super cool.
Awesome.
If you want to come ghost hunting with me, there's also a good chance that I will be at the Haunted Nights events. You can probably find those out on their website or on Instagram. I'll also be posting about them too. But if you want to support any of my travels and any of my adventures, you can check me out on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Threads, all the socials. Same handle, at the Ghoul Guide. Same ghoul, same shenanigans. I also do have a website and a blog space. That's at theghoulguide.com, and there's a ghoul shop in there with all of my merch. There's mystery packs. I also do this fun Polaroid adventure where I take Polaroids from all of my investigations and all of my travels, and I kind of put them up on my website for you guys to have as a little souvenir or like memento of these locations. You know, say like you can't get to a location, or I've been to one of your favorites and you really want like a fun memento from not only my events, my investigations and my adventures. You can have them. So that's super cool. And I think that's it.
I mean, that's plenty. You've got so much going on.
I do.
But it's great that you have these like ways that people can keep up with you too, though. Yeah,
it's been fun. And if you ever have like evidence you want me to review, there's like a haunt submission on my website that goes right to my email. You can always just DM me on any of the platforms. Sometimes they pop up, sometimes not, but I always tend to like look in the message requests to see if I have anything. So if you ever have a question, have like a road trip thing you want to talk about, or have any evidence you want me to see and maybe want my opinion on, send it my way. And I'm always down to talk ghouls and adventures with you guys. Don't you worry.
Ghouls and Adventures. That's our new podcast together.
Oh my God.
We'll start that.
I can see it now.
TM. Well, Courtney, thank you again so much. I also want to say thank you to our wonderful Patreon pals. If you guys would like to join us for some After the Gavel convo, then you can just head on over to our Patreon and become a member there. Before we go, just a reminder to please check out our social media. You can go to beacons.ai/spooky sisterhood, and our information is there. So is Courtney's. I'll make sure that you guys have that. And with that, if there's no more business, this meeting of the spooky... Nope. And with that, if there's no more business, this meeting of the Secret Society of the Spooky Sisterhood is adjourned. As always, keep it spooky, Sibs. It's Haunt Down to Halloween season, y'all. This year we've got an amazing grand prize package that we're giving away on Halloween. For information on how you can enter, visit our website, which is spookysisterhood.com/events. And please don't forget to check out all of our incredible paranormal partners. A huge thank you to the Smell of Fear Candle Company, Beacons TV, Spooks and Sparkles, Cryptid Comforts, Dave Hemmings, Adela Levine, Night Shift Paranormal, Lauren Haunts, and Spirit Jersey. Please go see all the wonderfully spooky things they have to offer today.